The Restoring 71 project is a landowner-driven habitat protection and restoration initiative near Grandora, Saskatchewan. It's operated by Katie and Aaron Suk as 71 of the 80 acres of their land parcel. Along with public access to the trail system and spreading awareness of the benefits of environmental stewardship, one of the primary goals of the project is to slowly replace introduced and invasive plant life with native flora. In February 2022, Restoring 71 was a recipient of the Native Prairie Restoration Reclamation Grant. It was awarded $2,000 to create a native plant corridor consisting of native grasses and forbs with the goal of creating connectivity in an area that was formerly cropland. The location for the corridor was chosen based on key criteria. There needed to be minimal weeds, access to water for irrigation, and be in a location that would create connectivity between natural features, bridging the gap between an existing ecobuffer shelter belt and the naturally occurring riparian vegetation of a wetland approximately 200 feet away. In early 2022, the project's partners at the Outdoor School program began growing native seedlings in the classroom. Restoring 71 has been partnered with the Outdoor School program, as well as the Grade 9 health class from Walter Murray Collegiate since 2021 through the One School, One Farm program. The Outdoor School program grew 260 native plants in the spring of 2022 to be planted in the corridor. In May 2022, the planting site was prepared for the first phase of the corridor with the help of Restoration Field School students from the University of Saskatchewan. The project's general planting design was provided, along with the planned location of the corridor and explanation of some of the expected challenges. The first phase of the corridor was weeded by hand, edged with fallen logs to provide wind protection, and they mapped out the planting design with color-coded markers. The final sizing of Phase 1 of the corridor was 10 feet wide by 50 feet long for a total of 500 square feet, meaning 1,500 seedlings to be sourced and planted to achieve the design recommendations. 2 large planting days were hosted in 2022. Over 500 seedlings were planted with the Outdoor School program on June 2nd, and another 170 seedlings with the Grade 9 health class from Walter Murray on June 15th. In total for 2022, 840 native plant seedlings were received and approximately $1,200 of the grant was expended. The remainder of 2022 was spent watering, weeding, and maintaining Phase 1 of the corridor as it established. By June of 2023, several of the seedlings were over 2 feet tall, and there was very little bare space left in the planting area. In total, 28 different native grass and flower species were planted. In early 2023, planning for Phase 2 of the corridor began, which was to add another 500 square feet and bring the corridor to a total length of 100 feet. The project self-funded an indoor growing set to increase long-term access to the number of free seedlings, and about $200 of the grant was used to purchase reusable pots and soil to support indoor growing for the next few seasons. The indoor growing at Restoring 71 was a great success and managed to grow over 410 seedlings for the corridor in 2023. Outdoor School grew 250 seedlings, One School, One Farm donated 30 shrubs, and Native Plant Society of Saskatchewan again donated piles of seed. In addition to these nearly 700 plants, $600 of the grant money was used to purchase 190 plants from Blazing Star, bringing the total to nearly 880 seedlings for 2023. Another planting day with Outdoor School on June 13th netted 780 more planted seedlings. In the fall, the remaining 100 seedlings were added to Phase 2. While the hope was to have enough seedlings to reach the full 100-foot length, it was about 5 feet short, but many seeds were added to the area, leading to hope for a high success rate in the spring. 3 new species were added to the corridor in Phase 2 that weren't in Phase 1, bringing the total to 31 native plant species restored in the area. Success for Phase 1 continued to the end of the 2023 growing season. There were blooms throughout the year, and many florets growing both under the canopy and in areas outside of the original corridor boundary. Seeds from Phase 1 were harvested, with some saved to grow indoors, and some spread into bare areas of Phase 2 late in the fall. Phase 2 success rates look promising, but cannot be confirmed until next spring. The Phase 2 planting was subjected to several stressors that the Phase 1 planting was not, with the biggest factor being grasshoppers. Over the course of 2022 and 2023, Just short of 1,000 square feet of former cropland was restored, with 1,720 seedlings planted and thousands of seeds spread. The experience was shared with over 80 high school and university students. Thousands of weeds were pulled and many hours spent watering while learning what can grow well and what species struggle. There were some great successes, like seeing the corridor start to spread outside of its boundaries, seeing how much of a difference it made to have wind blocks for the seedlings, and spotting our first monarch butterfly. Even though all of the grant money has been used, it will continue to bring value to the corridor project for years to come. By 2025, the corridor is to be complete and will have created much needed connectivity between natural areas scattered across the Restoring 71 yard site. Thank you to each of the partners, volunteers, and to all those who donated seeds and seedlings to the project. And of course, thank you to the Native Prairie Reclamation Restoration Workshop Committee for selecting the Restoring 71 project proposal for the grant. The skills learned over the last 2 growing seasons will help the project's continued restoration success for years to come.